day Bhagavad Gita course. We'll start with a little prayer. Today's session will start with prayer and then some introduction. Introduction in the sense, some few things about Bhagavad Gita, and then we go to chapter 10. Today we are going to do chapter 10. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतार जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं हरि ओं तत्सत्। Hare Krishna. Actually, there's another prayer that I want to say, and I will say the meaning of the prayer also. The prayer goes like this. प्रपन्न पारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृत दुहे नमः। Parijataya, we know that Parijata flower is very fragrant and is very beautiful, right? Now, one who is surrendered to Krishna is as fragrant as this Parijata flower, is what is the first line. Now, and then it is talking about Totra Vetrei Ek Panaye. One, the cowherd boy who is holding a stick in his hand. What is he doing now? Gnana Mudraya Krishnaya. Now he is taking a role of a teacher. For what? To give Gitamrita Duhe Namaha. That is what this shloka, this prayer is talking about. I mean, especially talking why Krishna is in the Gnana Mudra to speak the Bhagavad Gita. Now, if we have heard some facts, we have heard about Shruti, Smriti, and Puranas and other things. So, what is Shruti? Shruti is heard and repeated. Smriti is heard, then it is realized and then spoken. So, Bhagavad Gita is both Shruti and Smriti. And Acharyas give us purport. Like Upanishads are the Smritis. So Gita is Shruti because Krishna has directly spoken it, and it is Smriti because various Acharyas, dwell on it and give us the various purports of it or the actual meaning or for us to understand. So Bhagavad Gita comes in the sixth parva of the Bhishma Parva between chapter 25 to 42 of Mahabharata. So there are 700 verses in the Bhagavad Gita, out of which 575 verses are spoken by Krishna, 83 are spoken by Arjuna, and 41 shlokas are spoken by Sanjaya and one by Dhritarashtra. I mean, some facts, just for us. And then there are 20 different names of Arjuna, like Dhananjaya, Gudakesha, and then 33 names of Krishna, like Govinda, Rishikesha, Madhava, Madhusudana. So I'm giving all this because after these 18 days, there must be something to be intrigued about. What is this? So, it's like when we watch serials and say, same time, same day, next week, and we are curious about it. So, to build that curiosity, I'm giving a little background. And now, another aspect that we can also know, if somebody says, explain Bhagavad Gita in 2 minutes, that can be done quoting shloka, 15th shloka of the 15th chapter. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smita gnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvairahama vevetyo vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. It says, it gives the saranch, it gives the whole gist of Bhagavad Gita, that the Lord is as Paramatma in everybody's heart, and then from him comes remembrance, forgetfulness, and that. And he is the maker of Vedas. He is in the Vedas, and at the end of the Vedas, that he has to be known. If somebody wants a quick gist of Bhagavad Gita in 2 minutes, that can be done. Another way of looking at it is, in the first chapter of the first shloka, there's Dhritarashtra Vacha. Dhritarashtra is asking a question. Dharma kshetra kurukshetra samaveta yutsa mamaka pandavaschaiva kim akurvata sanjaya. What are they doing? So the answer to that actually is the last shloka of Bhagavad Gita, 18.78, and says, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partho Dhanurtara Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matirmama. Be sure, where there is Krishna and where there is Dhanurdhari Arjuna, victory is nishchit. I mean, it is already decided that they will be victorious. And so this is the first question, and the answer to that is the last shloka, first between last shloka. And to reach there, we have the ninth chapter, which you all attended yesterday. The last shloka of ninth chapter, it says, Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam eveshyas yukta evam atmanam matparayana. So what is the process for this question? Actually, it is not just a question of Dhritarashtra, it's a question of us, maybe not as Kauravas, as Pandavas, as a day-to-day life. How are we going to deal with the battles, the wars that we face in whatever way? So to be victorious, what is the process? Is think of Krishna, offer obeisances to him, etc. So that is another way of looking at Bhagavad Gita. Now, before I go into the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, I would want to share one quick, interesting thing about what does this mean, Kurukshetra. Like we know, Kuru is that Kuru Vamsha is started from the king, King Kuru, right? This kings earlier. Premalata Mataji, if you can mute your phone. Yeah, thank you. It's not muted, Mataji. This King Kuru, earlier kings, monarchs used to do a lot of yagna. So he took a bull. He took the bull from on the bank of Saraswati. In a golden chariot and plow, he took a bull from Shiva and buffalo from Yama, and he asked Indra for eightfold virtue. It is difficult for us to understand when we are plowing the land, we are going to put some seeds. Now, what is the seed that he wanted to put? He wanted to put all the 8 virtues in that land. So he started plowing that. And then, so when he started plowing, what is it all that he wanted to sow there? He wanted to religious austerity, tapa, truth, forgiveness, kindness, purity, charity, yoga, and continence. The continence means brahmacharya. Now, when he was doing this, Vishnu, he disguises himself and he comes and says, I want a portion of your arm. They were tested. I'm cutting short the story, trying to give the gist only. How really they want what they are striving for. So he cuts off his arms, and then, of course, Vishnu and Indra, they come as a disguise, and then they say, if you want these boons, and then this has to be done, you have to also sacrifice your arm and this thing. And finally, he is ready to cut off his head. Then Vishnu and Indra show their original form, and then they give him, they say they are very happy with your austerity or with your yagna. So you ask for 2 boons. So King Kuru says this kshetra or this land, 100 miles around Haryana. Haryana also is Harikana, is also known as Harikana, Haryana. It should be known as in his name. That is how it is known as Kurukshetra. And the second boon he asks is irrespective of the person, no matter what kind of a person that a person is. He can be a good person, sinful person, religious, non-religious, etc. If he happens to come to Kurukshetra and leave his body, he should attain moksha. These are the two boons he asks King Kuru. So that is how it is the Dharma Kshetra, because it is the austerity, kind of severe austerity of King Kuru. And what did he sow there? He sowed all the virtues there. Okay. So this was a quick, some few, what I can say, takeaway points of the Bhagavad Gita as an essence and this thing. So now we are in the Bhagavad Gita is 18 chapters divided into three sections. First six chapters is known as Karma Yoga, and then the next six chapters is known as Bhakti Yoga, which is that what we are in, and the last six chapter is known as Gnana Yoga. Gnana Yoga. Now, if we actually, when we read Bhagavad Gita, a little more detail, which all of you will eventually do after this 18 days course. If we see up until this Bhakti Yoga chapter, section, Arjuna is asking a lot of questions. If you see in the third chapter, he says, "You're asking me to work with intelligence, but then how can you ask me to engage in ghastly warfare?" And then Krishna answers. I just gave an example. So, initial six chapters, a lot of questions from Arjuna. And then, but when it comes to Bhakti Yoga, if you see the ninth chapter, which we saw yesterday, the first sloka, as such, there is no question asked by Arjuna. Because bhakti is something so dear to Krishna that he is ecstatic, or he is so happy, overwhelmed to talk about bhakti. He need not wait for a question from Arjuna to give this aspect of bhakti. So that's how, we see this. And also we must understand Bhakti Yoga, the middle six chapters, is sandwiched between the Karma Yoga and the Gnana Yoga. Now, what does it mean? What do we mean by sandwich? Sandwich means, see, bread is same. The name of sandwich is known by what is there in the middle, right? It can be a cheese sandwich, a vegetable sandwich, or a whatever, a bread and jam, what is in the middle. So, you see, the essence of Bhagavad Gita is bhakti, which is very well protected between the two chapters. If we want to safeguard something very valuable, then it is protected. So, that also we can see. So in the ninth chapter, Krishna talks about a lot of his, his opulence or his greatness and other things. And in the seventh chapter also, we saw some of the vibhutis. What do we mean by vibhuti yoga? Vibhuti. Bhuti means bhuta. Bhuta means, something that is in existence. Vibhuti means something vishesha. Vishesha, something extraordinarily existing. That is Vibhuti Yoga. Now, this 10th chapter, as an overview, basically it has 42 shlokas. Okay, the first 7 shlokas, basically Krishna says, "Nobody knows me." Then what are we doing here if nobody knows Krishna? In essence, what Acharya say, we cannot know Krishna until Krishna reveals himself. Or rather, there is a process. It's like, if I have to give an example, if I have to go to US, then there is a process. The main process is I have to get visa. And if I have to get visa, I have to qualify. There are certain qualifications. So, qualification, and they get visa to go there. So, the same way, if I have to understand bhakti or if I have to understand Bhagavad Gita, there are certain qualifications. And if there are certain such qualifications, it is not that I understand Bhagavad Gita, but it is revealed to me, or rather, Krishna very mercifully reveals to me. He explains that in this chapter also, actually. So the first seven shlokas, Krishna says how he explains that nobody knows him. And the next part, 8 to 11, is called the famous Chatushloki, four shlokas. Okay, it is very famous because it gives the essence of bhakti. And then between 12 to 18 is Arjuna accepts Krishna as glories. I mean, Krishna is telling, I am this, I am that. But then the listener has to understand, isn't it? I mean, accept, not just hear, but accept also. So Arjuna's acceptance is what is seen between 12 and 18. And then between 19 to 42, Krishna gives various of his vibhutis, I mean, like various examples how to remember him. Why and other things we will see. So, Aishwari Mataji, Mataji, are you the host? Or can I
Yes,
share?
Mataji.
Mataji, can you share that PPT or should I share?
Mataji, I think the drive link is with you guys. So,
Oh, that way. Okay, okay. Let me see. Yeah, it's seen, right?
yes, Mataji, yes.
Okay, yeah. So you see this Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, shloka. Okay. So now, the first, yeah, if we see here, the synopsis of chapter 10, uh, Krishna between 10 to 1, like I said, how he is saying that he is the source of everything. Right? Actually, the
Mataji,
first, yeah, yes,
can you
Hare Krishna.
enlarge the screen, Mataji, if possible? Like a
Let me
slideshow.
just see. Let me just see. Oh no, it went smaller.
Mataji, you just need to click on the icon which shows like one class. So it will show it in slideshow.
Wait, give me a second. Yeah.
Yes, Mataji.
Slideshow. Slide sorter, it says. Where is the slideshow?
Mataji on the top, Mataji. Viewer review slideshow. If you
Yeah,
see.
yeah. I have the slide sorter normal, but it's not showing the
On the
slideshow.
top, Mataji, the top icon. Yeah, in the home, insert, draw, design. And if you see slideshow is there.
Okay.
Mataji, in the bottom also, right side, you can see that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I got so involved in talking, I forgot about.
Mataji, in
Yeah.
the
Wait a second.
top
1 second.
bottommost thing, right
Uh-huh.
side, there is a the last
Square.
icon. Yeah, the last icon. Last.
But it's
Go further that side.
it's not showing that. Give me a
Bottom,
second,
Mataji.
please. Yeah, yeah. 1 second. File.
Before size.
Okay. Mm, Slides. See, it's showing me so many things except the slide.
Yes, Mataji. Just on the top, there's that orange color, no, Mataji. On the
Okay.
over there,
Yeah.
if you see, it says slideshow. It's this home, insert, draw, design.
Home
Yeah,
inside.
insert next one,
Oh,
Mataji.
oh,
Next,
oh, oh,
next,
okay,
next,
okay.
and
I
then the
was looking.
slideshow.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
Mataji. Yeah, no, no, up, Mataji. Next to home, there's insert, right? After
Oh,
insert, there is draw, design, transition, and slideshow. On the top, orange slide bar.
What
okay.
is that called, Mataji? Actually, that red orange bar above on top.
Insert,
Yeah, next,
Uh,
insert,
next to it, next to it, next to it.
draw. No,
Next, Mataji. You keep
After
going on.
animations,
After
So,
animation,
okay,
slideshow.
okay.
Yes, Mataji. From the beginning, you can do
Yeah,
Mataji. Or from current slide now.
it's, yeah, okay. Slideshow. But is that
And then from
working?
beginning. Yeah, from beginning, you have to click Mataji.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
No,
Is,
from beginning.
yeah, that's the
Towards
first,
the,
that's the
no, no.
first thing.
After
Yeah.
you click slideshow, Mataji, there are options right in the bottom. You have to click from beginning.
Mhm.
Yes, Mataji. This.
It's been a long time.
Thank you,
Yes.
Mataji.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
It's been a gap. Yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you for being patient. Yeah. In this so much of technology world, I felt a little off the mark. But anyway. Okay, so yeah, this is the brief introduction that I gave. Chapter 9. Okay, a summary of the sections also we saw. We saw. Yeah, in the end of chapter 9, what Krishna says, Manmana mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktvavam atmanam mat parayana. If I have to just read this translation quickly of that, it's Prabhupada says, engage your mind, always thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and worship me, being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Tall order. Always think of me or this thing, I mean, absorbed in me and things like that. So, Krishna is, is that kind of a person where he will say, do this, and then not like you find your way out. I mean, he also gives solutions. So, we'll see how it is. So, he describes all his opulences, like whatever we see, how we can remember Krishna. That is what this chapter is about. Conclusion. Chapter 10 focuses on description of Krishna's opulences. By hearing will increase our devotion, right? What is exactly increase our devotion? See, if we have to worship somebody, right, or if we have to like somebody or love somebody, first of all, we should know about that person. So, to know about that person, it's, like if we have a friend, then some introduction is done. If we know each other. But what about Krishna? Krishna, he's the original person. Who can give an introduction to Krishna? Because he can give. So that's how he's giving all his opulences. Yeah, 1 to 7, Krishna's position as origin of everything, the Chatushloki, and the various opulences. So, in the first 3 shlokas, anyone knowing Krishna as the unborn Supreme Lord and source of all sages and demigods is undiluted and free from sin. So, unborn Supreme Lord. Why, it may sound simple words. Krishna, we have to just accept or understand that Krishna is unborn. That means what? He eternally exists. He existed before this creation, he is going to exist after this creation, etc. For us, we are all aware of, time, I mean, like start and beginning, start and end. So it can be a little difficult for us to comprehend this. So, but if we understand that, then we'll be free from sin. And then all the qualities and attitudes, freedom from illusion, are created by Krishna. Even the progenitors, right from Brahma. Brahma himself is created from Krishna. So the other creations are from Brahma. So everything. So those who know Krishna's glories engage in this service. Now it is very easy. If you can take of any famous personality, it can be a cricket star, it can be a politician, it can be a what a movie star, right? People are mad, they can do anything for them. Because they find them very glorious. So, in the same way, if we know glories of Krishna, then we will engage in his service, right? So, in the first shloka, there is one interesting word that I would. Bhuyaha, he says. Krishna is telling Sri Bhagavan Vacha Bhuya Eva Mahabaho. He says, I will tell you again. Because I already told about my vibhutis. Not that he says I have told in the 7th chapter, but for our understanding. But I am going to tell you again. Imagine if we have to keep repeating things, how patient are we? In fact, after telling the whole Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, did you understand? If you have not understood, I will repeat it again. Okay. So this is the mood of Krishna. I mean, that the patience, right? So Krishna says, you listen carefully about it, not necessarily only Bhagavad Gita. If we have to understand anything, we have to have 2 things. One is we have to be very eager to hear. The other thing is, when we hear, then with that required qualification, if I have to do chartered accountancy, then I have to have that qualification. So with that qualification and with that eagerness to hear, then you will understand about me, he says. And like how not just the sages, even the great demigods, the great devatas, even they don't understand about my origin, Krishna is saying. And here he gives, in the fourth to fifth shloka, he gives about buddhi, gnanam, asam, moha. I mean, he gives some qualities. If one knows this knowledge, what is the various qualities that one will acquire or one has, and things like that, like tapo, dama, yasho, yashaha, ahimsa, tushtis, and things like that, right? What these are the different qualities. If most of you are watching the slides, the different qualities that are elaborated in various shlokas. Now, I will not go into the details of all this quality except for one quality. Here, Krishna talks about ahimsa in the shloka 11. He talks about ahimsa. Now, basically, we understand ahimsa as not harming anybody physically. But actually, in Bhagavad Gita, it goes one step higher. Any kind of anxiety or misery caused to other living entity, not just entity, is himsa. So, our ISKCON founder, Srila Prabhupada, in the purport, he says when we are not preaching about Krishna, that is himsa. Why that is himsa? Because when one is in Krishna consciousness and one understands that I am not this body, I am the soul, that is one point. The other point is that all the living entities, everything, all the living entities are the children of the Lord, of the same Lord, right? And everything comes from Krishna. That is what also we saw, Ham Sarvasya Prabhu, everything is coming from Krishna. Then we will not get into this aspect of wanting to misuse any person or misuse any resources that we have, right? So only with this knowledge, actually ahimsa can be practiced, is what our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada says. I mean, I gave a gist of what is ahimsa. Like that, there are various other qualities that Krishna talks about. Who is a man who is actually really famous? A man is famous who is a great devotee. And about charity. Why we have to give charity only in to Krishna in furthering the Krishna consciousness activities, right? We will see in the later chapters where even the dana or the charity is in three modes, and how in which mode if we do, it will help us to enhance our bhakti. So that is what is all in these shlokas, right? All that is created, everything emanates from me, Krishna says, right? The seven great sages before the four great sages, that is the, if I have to show here, the four Kumaras, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanat Kumara, Kashyapa, all the sages, Kashyapa, three, right? And the 14 Manus, everything is coming from me, Krishna says that he is the source of all source. Sarva Karana Karanam, he is the source of everything. So that is what he talks up to shloka 7. Now is the essence of this chapter is about this Chatushloki. Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate iti matta bhajante mam bhuda bhava samani. Now here in this shloka is these two words, Buddha and Bhava, right? Means Buddha, the last line, Buddha Bhava Samanvita. It says, with intelligence, you have to understand everything with intelligence. What does intelligence mean? Intelligence means mm, uh, for us, before we come to the path of bhakti, somebody who's intelligently managing a company, a big company, or using their intelligence to create something new, we were very awed by such things. But if we, in one lecture I heard, to understand the frailties of this material world, one need not read Bhagavad Gita. I mean, if we look at the outside world, whatever is created, there is always some misery attached to it. It can look very nice at certain point of time, but with it also comes some, misery or something which is not likable about it. If I have to give a quick example, they said population is very high, so we need to increase our production. So what did they do? What did we do? What did we do? We poured tons and tons of chemicals into the agricultural fields to get more produce to feed more people. Now, at the immediate level, we thought we solved the problem. But actually, what is happening in the long run? Did we solve the problem? We added to the problem. I mean, there are, people are out and out for organic things and, non-chemical things and this thing. So, intelligence is to find a permanent solution for anything rather than a temporary solution. I mean, I was coming to that. Right? So here Krishna is saying if somebody is intelligent enough, then what they do, bhajante mam, they will worship me. Why worship me with all my heart? Perfectly engage in worshipping me. Now, worshipping me, why me? Why Krishna? Because these are some of the, from the Varaha Purana, Narayana Purana, what it says, Narayana Brahmajayate, from Narayana came, the patriarch, from Narayana Indra was born, the 8 Vasus, the 11 Rudras, the Adityas, okay, Brahmano Devaki Putra, right? Now, if we go a little more in detail, exactly where Narayana came also can come into picture. I mean, not the scope now, but in the detailed version that can come. So from Narayana, Brahma, Shiva, everyone came. And that Narayana actually originates from Krishna. So that is what Krishna is saying, that Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. And what is the result of knowing this? We will worship Krishna with all our hearts. I mean, that because he's something he's a great person. And how do we worship? Maybe you feel I'm going a little fast because it's an hour and it's only a gist. So I'm reiterating details. Please join after 18 days. We will definitely relish the details also, right? The ninth shloka, between 8 to 11, the ninth shloka says, Machchitta matkata prana bodhayantaste parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So it says, how do the people engage in my devotional service, right? Bodhayantaste parasparam. They talk to each other, parasparam. About what? Kathayantascha mam nityam, nityam, every day. What do they talk about? Krishna Katha. And what does this do? What does this Kathayantascha mam, speaking about me? Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. It nourishes me. And then it gives me immense joy. Right? Now, it gives me immense joy. What kind of joy? Joy that doesn't, is not which is not temporary. Joy that is eternal. Joy that stays for ever, eternally with me. So that is the kind of joy which gives the people who discuss about me. And another aspect also I would like to touch upon here. While we are reading these scriptures, there are 3 concepts which is called Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. Now, the first aspect is Sambandha. What is Sambandha? What is the relationship between me and God? That is the Sambandha that I have to establish. What is Abhideya? The process. Now, the eighth shloka, it says, it established that Krishna is the supreme and I have to serve him. Right? Somebody who is supreme, I have to serve him, is what I understand. And the next shloka is talking about the Abhideya, the process to do that. What I have to talk about him with my devotees who are like minded and things like that. That is the Abhideya. And then what is the prayojana? What is the prayojana that we will see, right? Prayojana is to develop love for Krishna. Now we may wonder, don't we have love for Krishna now? Now this question we can answer ourselves. What do I love more? Do I love myself more or do I love Krishna more? So if I have to love Krishna more than myself, then there must be some, something which makes me love him more. So this whole process of 18 days Bhagavad Gita is to make us understand why we have to love Krishna more. Okay, and then that is the prayojana. So we saw the eighth shloka that he is the source of everything, and the ninth shloka. So because he is the source, so he is so supreme, he is so opulent that we have to worship him. And now, if we have to worship him, now how is it that I'm going to worship him? Now, if I have to just give a, if we can read Vedas to understand Krishna. There is approximately around 1 lakh into 1 lakh shlokas in the Vedas. Okay. Bhagavad Gita itself has only 700 shlokas. We find it difficult to read that and then understand Krishna, right? So, is it an impossible task then? No. What he says in the next shloka, actually, the 10th shloka, 10 out of 10, full marks. Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam pritipurukam dadami buddhiyogam tam ena mam upayanti te. He says, constantly you just worship me. Just think about me. Worship me. Think about me. I will give you the intelligence. But, worshipping me how? He is a rider there. He says, pritipurukam. Now, if I like somebody, if I want to serve somebody, there are two ways of doing it. Either I can grudgingly do it or I can lovingly do it. Right? So, he says, Bhajatam Preeti Purvakam. Just worship me with a lot of love. What I will do? I will give you that buddhi. I will give you that intelligence to understand. Understand what? Understand, and then you can come to me, he says. Right? So, different steps of yoga. And then, how does he give the buddhi? He says in this 11th shloka, Tesham evam anukampartham aham agnanajam tamaha nashayami atma bhavastu gnanadipena bhasvata. You see, when there is darkness, what do we do? Externally, when there is a super power cut or there is darkness, we switch on our generators or the UPS is on, and then the lights are on, and to dispel the darkness. But actually, there is a lot of darkness within us. We may not say it to everybody, or we may share some things to somebody. What is the darkness within us? We are afraid of things. We are unsure of things. We are unsure of the future. We don't know what will happen. And then, there is so much of darkness, so much of negative feelings, so much of nasty feelings, and so much of negativity around us that puts us into darkness, right? Internally. So that darkness, Krishna says, out of compassion for them, to whom? To the devotees, I dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born out of ignorance. So Bhagavad Gita dispels the darkness not externally also, and then more so internally. The darkness of negativity that we have in within us is what is going to be dispelled right? And it becomes bright when there is illumination. When after darkness, it becomes very bright. And what is that bright illumination he gives? He moving away from temporary likes and dislikes and desires to permanent likes and dislikes, permanent likes and desires. That is the gnana that he gives. So this is a special mercy with that shining knowledge he gives, right? So this was the Chatushloki. And then now, you see, when it may look a little arrogant in the at the outset. Now, if I say, if somebody asks me to introduce myself, I will say, okay, I will introduce to, about myself for maybe 2 minutes, but actually, it takes days and days to talk about myself. If I say that, what is the first thought that comes to anybody? Yeah, what an arrogant person is what, right? But here, that is about limited, people like us. But Krishna is an unlimited person. I mean, that is why he says, mm, whatever you want to know about me is unlimited. But although it is unlimited, I will give you a few opulences or a few vibhutis of mine. So after the Chatushloki, Arjuna actually comes to a position that he says he accepts. What does he accept? He says, Arjuna Vacha, Param Brahma Param Dhama. He says, you are the supreme. I accept it. Arjuna says. It is not just that he accepts, he says all these great rishis, Narada, Asito, Devala, Vyasa, and you yourself also are declaring to me, so I accept it. So that is and then Arjuna says, now please elaborate more about your vibhutis or about your opulences, which is this chapter. So if we have to, we have around 10-15 minutes now. So the vibhutis, if we have to talk about vibhutis, there are few shlokas and a few things that I would like to read. Krishna says, in the of the Adityas I am Vishnu, of lights I am radiant sun, of the Maruts I am Marichi, among the stars I am the moon. Among the Vedas, I am the Samaveda, he says. Samaveda, because it is sung in a very melodious way. So he says among this. Then you see there is a very important thing in the 22nd shloka. He says, among the senses, I am the mind. Okay? Because all of us, if we try to understand, we always struggle trying to control the mind, or trying to bring the mind to what we want to do. The mind has a very peculiar characteristic. It stays where it should not, and it goes where it should not go. Right? So Krishna here is saying, I'm this among the senses, I am the mind. So that means if I have to regulate my mind, right? That means I have to understand how Krishna wants me to regulate it, because he's saying, among the senses, I am the mind. Okay, and then he says, among the Rudras, I'm Lord Shiva. Among the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I'm Lord Kuvera. Among the mountains, I'm Mount Meru. Mount Meru is very opulent and a very big mountain. So he says, I'm Mount Meru. Then among the demigods, I'm Indra, because he's the king of heaven. And among the rishis, I'm Brihaspati. Brihaspati, we know, is known for his intelligence. In fact, if we have to chastise somebody, I mean, like I remember they used to say, what do you think, you're Brihaspati or what? I mean, as children, when they, had to chastise you in a very, snide way, they used to say, What do you think? You're Brihaspati. That means actually they're glorifying Brihaspati, that he is very intelligent. Don't think you're like Brihaspati. That is what is meant there. So Krishna is saying, among the chief this thing, that I am Brihaspati. And among the immovable things, I am Himalayas. He says, it's so huge. And among the trees, I am Ashwatha. Then among the demigods, I am Narada. Narada is Bhakti. If you have this bhakti as a person, that is Narada Muni. So Krishna is saying, I am Narada Muni. And among the representative of Krishna, Kapila, the son of Devahuti, right? Now this episode of Kapila Muni, Kapila Dev, not Kapila Muni, Kapila Dev comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a very nice episode where he actually is an incarnation of Krishna who instructs his mother Devahuti about Sankhya Yoga, which is another this thing, a complete, philosophy to his mother. So he says, among the representative of Krishna, that I am Kapila Muni. Then he also says, among the weapons, I am the thunderbolt, the Vajra Ayuda. And then among the cows, I'm the Surabhi cow. What is it about Surabhi cow? In Vrindavana, there are desire trees, wish fulfilling desire trees, and Surabhi cow. What is it? What do I mean by wish fulfilling desire tree? If you have heard of this Chintamani stone, right? If Parasmani or Chintamani, if anything it touches, it becomes gold, right? So like that, these desire trees, whatever I desire, if I stand there and tell, those trees gives my desire. That is how those trees are in Golok Vrindavan. And these cows, they don't wait for anybody to milk the cows. They are always flowing with milk, abundant milk, right? So among such cow, I am the Surabhi cow, he says. Now another very interesting point, he says, I am the sex desire for begetting good sons or children. So I will just touch upon the point that there is something called Garbhadhana Samskara here, because we are unaware of this, and because we think in spirituality there is everything is given up. It is not given up, it is regulated, because Krishna himself is saying that is the sex desire for begetting good children and not for otherwise. Details when we come to the details of 10th chapter in the detailed version. So like this, he elaborates many things among the mantras. I am Gayatri mantra. Then very another two important points about his vibhuti. He says among the kalaha kalayatam aham, which means I am among the subduers, I am the time. See, what do I mean by a subduer? Subduer means, something that is something, I have something abundantly now, and for some reason it is not there. It is subdued. So Krishna is saying, among the subduers, I am the time. You see, time is the greatest subduer. I mean, it doesn't spare anybody, irrespective of who that person is. Time can take away whatever ability, whatever opulence, whatever fame anybody has. So I am that time, Krishna says, right? And then he also says, among the letters, I am aksharanam akarosmi. Actually, without the letter A, it's very difficult to make words. So he says, I am. And then he goes on to say many other things. One another point, Dyutyam Chalayatam Asmi, which means I am also gambling of cheats. Now, cheating itself is one aspect. Why does Krishna says I am gambling? You see, actually, all these, whatever I'm saying is all given by our acharyas, different various acharyas. And it's also, of course, given in the scriptures. No gambling house will want any person who comes to gamble there to win. Otherwise, they will go out of business because if they have to be in business, they have to cheat. They have to win finally. But they do it so intelligently that the person going there doesn't realize that the person is being cheated. Eventually he'll be cheated. Maybe one day he will win, one day, but eventually the winner is the owner of the gambling house, not anybody else. So I'm giving this example because Krishna himself is saying. So Krishna is saying, I am that, gambling of cheats, where you getting cheated, even though you're getting cheated, still you go there to get cheated. I am that, I am that cheat, he says, right? And then among the dando damayatam asmi. I'm skipping many of the things. He says, among all the means of suppressing lawlessness, I'm punishment. Actually, if we have to correct somebody, the scriptures say there are 4 types of way of doing it. First you tell the person, and then you warn the person. There are various ways. And the end, actually, if it doesn't work, then punishment. So Krishna says, among all the suppressing lawlessness, I'm punishment. Not that he wants to punish anybody, but then if there is no other way, then he says, I am representing that punishment. And then he says, of those who seek victory, I am morality. Right? And also, mrityu sarvasya chaham, he says, like, one can be stripped of whatever things in the material world when we are here, and then we can gain it back. It can be money, it can be fame, it can be position. We can endeavor to get it back. But Krishna says, I am death. Why death? Because what happens during death? It takes away our identity only. I am only not there. Then what to think of getting back everything else? So it is the ultimate of uh, of being stripped of everything. That's the death is the ultimate. So Krishna says, I am all devouring death. That is what Krishna is saying. And among the daityas, what is daityas? Daitya means the demons. Prahaladasmi. Because Prahalad, though was born in a Daitya family, he's among the topmost devotees. So Krishna says, I am that. And then actually amongst the Pandus, we may think, since Yudhishthir Maharaj is known as Ajata Shatru, what does it mean to be Ajata Shatru? That he had no enemies in spite of Duryodhana doing so many things. So, and he was Dharmaraya. He is the, he is called Dharma, personification of Dharma, Dharmaraya. So, but still Krishna says, amongst the sons of Pandu, I am Dhananjaya. Because Arjuna was a greater devotee. Not that Yudhishthir Maharaj was not a devotee, but even then, Arjuna was a greater devotee than Yudhishthir Maharaj. He never ever doubted, whereas there was one instance where in Mahabharata it comes where Yudhishthir Maharaj doesn't follow Krishna's instructions. There's just one instance there. So, although Yudhishthir also, Maharaj is also a very great devotee, but Arjuna is a notch higher. So he says, I am that among the Pandus, I am Arjuna. So among women, I am memory, intelligence, steadfastness. Among the months, I am Margashira. He says where, and then among the seasons, I am the spring. So if we see the few lists that Krishna has given, whatever is the topmost, within our purview of experience. Krishna is saying that I am this. But however, we have to understand, like how we started this, the beginning of this chapter, everything is coming from Krishna. There is nothing that is away from Krishna. He says, if we see in the 7th chapter, 19th shloka, Krishna says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gnanavan Mam Prapatyante Vasudevam Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. One who knows everything is Vasudeva, everything is Krishna. Samahatma Sudurlabha. And how do you understand Bahunam Janmanam Ante? After many, many births, we understand this. Then why is Krishna giving all this? One thing is, before we come to the path of bhakti, before we are getting seriously into the path of bhakti, and when we get into even after we get into the path of bhakti, the main thing we understand is that we have to always think of Krishna. Now, I'm in the class now, we are discussing about Krishna, so my mind is on Krishna, hopefully. But otherwise, I look at the sun, I look at people, I look at so many things. And then I also look at some, very opulent things, or very adbhuta things. If we see a beautiful sunrise, we feel, oh, what a beautiful sunrise. We go to any beach, we see the sunrise or sunset. So Krishna is giving all these examples for us to focus from what we see to shift our focus to the source. If this is beautiful, the sun is beautiful, it is coming from me. So that we come to the point of that we can, no matter what we see, what we look at, we can think of Krishna. Now, these kind of examples only have to be given because that is what we can understand. In fact, if the scriptures and Acharya say, we cannot describe the beauty of Krishna at all. But if you see, he's lotus faced, his lotus feet, his eyes is lotus, his everything, is lotus. Why? Because in this material world, the lotus is the most beautiful thing. So for us to understand, to relate in the initial stages, the example of lotus is given. But otherwise, the beauty of lotus is nothing compared to beauty of Krishna. But for now, for us to understand, to relate, these kind of examples are given. So he is given. The examples which are given should clear our doubts or take us further into the whatever goal we are achieving, rather than confuse us more, right? Even the color of Krishna, say the bluish black, color of the cloud, that is the nearest we can understand the color of the color of Krishna. So that's how Krishna is giving all these things, and then finally what he says, various things he gives. In the 41st sloka, he says, know that all beautiful, glorious and mighty creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Whatever beautiful thing, if we say the most beautiful person, maybe Aishwarya Rai can come to it. He says it's just a spark. It is just the spark of my splendor of his. So if the spark is so beautiful, then how much more beautiful the source should be our thought. That is what is this chapter taking us to. And then he concludes, he says, but what need is there, Arjuna, for all these detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. What does it mean? He pervades and support this entire universe. If we have followed from the first chapter, the second chapter elaborates that the Atma, the soul which is in the body, is keeping us alive. So as Atma, with the Atma, he stays as Paramatma. So he's pervading everywhere. He's there everywhere. Until the time that we are purified by various sadhanas and the processes to understand that these examples Krishna gives, that if you see mountain, you understand that is, I mean, it's like me, the shark, I'm among the animals, he says I'm lion. If we see the lion walk, it is so majestic, and then he also says he also gives the examples among the elephants, I'm Gajendra, right? So this is what about a quick, what I can say, a gist of the chapter 10, about the various opulences of Krishna, and why Krishna gives this to make us understand that day in and day out, if we have to, man mana bhava mad bhakto, if I have to always think of Krishna, then these examples remind us of Krishna in various ways. Okay, with these few words and few thoughts of mine, with the blessings of my Guru Maharaj and the various devotees, I have tried to share a few things. It, of course, not bereft of mistakes or shortcomings, which I will need all your prayers to improve myself. But as a seva for my Guru Maharaj, I have taken up this. Thank you all very much for the patient hearing. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
If anyone
Hare
has
Krishna,
any doubts,
Mataji. Thank you.
Mataji, normally they post in the group, Mataji. So I will add you to the group, Mataji. So you can answer all their queries, Mataji.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Very
Okay,
divine
Mataji.
Hare
Hare
class.
Krishna,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Thank
Hare
you so
Krishna.
much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. With your permission, I'll end the session, Mataji. Thank you to all devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you,
Thank you,
devotees. Hare
Mataji. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.